good question. Felix was next, so just in front.
Oh,
Felix is madly writing while he's trying to question.
I've got 2 questions, all right?
Fire.
Yep. First one was the relationship between facade and addiction, because,
Yep, so our facade is all about lies, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's...
You think about your facade, it's really lying to self and the world. You're telling yourself and you're telling the world that what you really want is not what you really want, and so forth. But your addictions, when you start engaging addictions, they show the truth of what you really feel, that you have all these needy holes that you want filled, and you'll do anything to fill them. Does that make sense?
But is one is one driving the other? No, they're like... No,
what's driving all of it is these 2 things. Yeah. The avoidance of my pain and the avoidance of my emotion of terror.
Isn't because the way I feel is my facade is there to try to do everything it can to both avoid the terror and instead get the pleasure of the addiction.
Correct.
So it's basically then it feels to me like my facade is driven by my addictions in a way, or by my fear and my addiction. Isn't that right?
No, your facade is even created because of these 2 things.
Yeah.
And so all of what the facade then creates. So you think of your facade as a part of yourself.
Yeah.
So it's part of your real self.
So you mean it's like the part of me that's doing the hurt self is saying...
The hurt self is this pain.
Yeah, I'm terrified, avoid my pain, and the facade's going, okay, I'll avoid your pain, these addictions will do it, lies will do it.
Yeah, we talk about that
this
tomorrow.
will do it, that will do it, okay.
We talk about tomorrow how your pain is really like a dictator, a controller, a manipulator. Your pain is doing that. Your facade is just following its demands. It's like a servant. It's your humble and faithful servant. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Following whatever you wish to do.
Yeah.
And the facade is there because the dictator says, do this, avoid pain and refuse to feel terror. And so the facade says, no worries, my
I kind of realised that recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Great, thanks. And second was, you said just before, a minute ago, that you were attacked less when you got rid of some terror. Yeah. I was kind of surprised.
Shocked. Why would you be shocked? Because at the moment the belief is that if you follow God's laws, it's going to be worse for you.
Yeah. That's
your belief. It's not true.
Would you be able to give us a personal example of that?
I was terrified of, one of my major motivations was to please people all the time. Right, so I'd run around pleasing people all the time. I'd run myself into the ground pleasing people, doing other things for other people. The reason why I got sick every month was because of that, actually, that one desire. So there I was, out of harmony with law, not loving myself, driven by terror that other people, if I don't please other people, then I'd be seen to be a bad person or whatever. And so I'd just please. That's my addiction. Pleasing them makes me feel better about myself. Okay, I deal with the terror. I don't have to please anybody anymore, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all of my sicknesses go away. I go from being sick every month to not being sick for 10 years. So that tells me, interesting bit of feedback there. I'm actually more in harmony with God's laws now, and as a result, I'm not breaking as many, and as a result, I get some good outcomes. Right? So not only that, also I get attacked less from people. Because before, I was so much into pleasing people that they would all know that I'm into pleasing them. And so whenever I didn't please them, they would dump on me like nobody's business. It's like attack here, attack there, attack here, attack there. Once they knew that I wouldn't please them, except under certain circumstances, they didn't attack me anymore.
That makes sense, yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Before, I was feeding their addiction to get whatever they wanted from me, and then after I dealt with that, they realised that they couldn't do that with me, and so they didn't bother. They just went and did it with somebody else.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't get attacked as much.
Yeah, no, I noticed that with you, like that you feel like you can't get away with things with AJ where you can with other people.
Yeah. But also many of you, as a result, don't attack me either.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. Thank you very much for that. But it's a part of the law in operation. The law is I'm no longer giving you. So if you look at it from a vortex perspective, there's a vortex coming out of me before that I would satisfy a person's addictions.
I love that. I love that metaphor. It's exactly what it feels like.
And their vortex
especially
was
the sound you make.
Yeah, that's what it's like. So their vortex was that they would accept me pandering to them because, you know, they felt superior to me or whatever. Yeah. Now, as soon as I cut that off, like they, for a little bit, have that demand, and then they realise, what's the point?
Yep.
It's pointless wanting AJ to feed an addiction, and just go somewhere else if you want an addiction feed.
So just in summary, the facade is like the master. The slave of the master, which is the hurt self.
No, the pain is the master.
The pain is a master,
which we'll talk about.
My
more
facade
tomorrow.
is a slave, and the addiction is one of the solutions.
Yes.
Okay.
The slave says, just in case this addiction, would that make your pain go away? And your pain goes, yeah, that feels better now. So
okay, thanks.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Many of you have been thinking that your facade is the problem. Yeah? No, your facade is the effect of the problem. Yeah. So it's interesting. The facade is the effect of the real problem, the avoidance of pain and the refusal of terror. That's the problem. And your facade is just doing what that demands. Just obeying. Your facade is she who must be obeyed. What's that from that show? She who must be obeyed? Yeah, Rumpole of the Bailey, that's right. She who must be obeyed, his wife who must be obeyed he was referring to, but I'm referring to these two emotions, must be obeyed, must be obeyed. So your facade goes around saying, yes, I obey. I'll do whatever is needed. And your facade is even busy obeying everybody else's ones as well. Isn't that crazy? It's like, not only will you obey your own demand to avoid, but somebody else has a demand to avoid and you obey that too. It's like, how crazy is that? So we're running around obeying not only our own demands to avoid these two things, but also obeying everyone else's demands to avoid these two things. It's no wonder we feel like we're tired and no energy and exhausted and so forth, is it not? If we go up to, if we come down to Phoebe actually on this side.
It seems like some people, myself included, have more of a facade than others, if that makes sense, or have more different facades, or...
I think they're just different.
Is it just different? It just feels like some people just feel more real or like...
Yeah, I'd possibly agree with that, but all that indicates is that they've either been allowed to be themselves more than you have, or that they've chosen to be themselves more than you have. That's all it means.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
So it's not really, like they may not have different amounts of terror or different types of terror that would cause that?
Of course. Yeah.
I guess, everyone's going to have different...
Yeah, you've got so many flavours, it's like the spices on a rack, you know. Chili terror, and ginger terror, not so bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, if we go to Tara on this side.
When there's so much self-talk going on with comparison with others and self-criticism, self-judgment, is that just a complete block to the terror?
Yeah, that's one of the techniques.
So that's a technique when you just, because I understand that self-punishment is a no-go, like it doesn't go anywhere. But
yeah,
what about if you just let yourself feel how much self-hatred you have?
Self-hatred is a technique too.
Okay.
They're all techniques. What does self-hatred do for you, Tara? It does something.
Well,
it feeds one of these, right? What does it do?
Well, I understand it stops me from feeling what
it
other
does.
people really feel towards me.
Yes, how does it do that?
Well, if I'm punishing and hating myself first, then I'm not going to feel the pain of other people hating me.
true, but also that's highly unlikely that they will attack you, because they look at you and they go, poor Tara, she's already punishing herself enough.
How do they know that though?
Because they can feel you doing it. Can't they?
Yeah, I suppose because it's so caught up in my head and the stories that are going on in my head, I don't see what that other people are feeling about me.
Correct. And that's the case for the majority of us, because we're so involved in our own refusal of terror and so involved in our own refusal of pain that we forget that everyone around us is doing the same thing with different things, with different emotion. And we're not analysing their behaviour because we're too busy not understanding our own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's where we become, like you were saying earlier, detuned, basically not able to feel other people's emotions at all.
Exactly. We're in this place here, and this is what I found, is once I worked through that, I was now able to sense other people's emotions. So it's actually one huge benefit. You can now feel what other people actually feel. Before then, you can't feel anything. So I didn't even know what I felt. Before then, you don't even know what you feel. It's like, you know, I remember I went to a psychologist once because I was worried about, you know, where I was headed, and sat down with him, and he said, like, he was asking me, you know, what if somebody came into your house and they started attacking your two sons? What would you do? And I'm just thinking. And I, you know, say a few things. He said, no, maybe I better ask you this. What would you feel? And I'm going, feel? What would I feel? I had no idea what I would feel. None whatsoever.
So the story's actually stopping me from really feeling. I'm just staying in my head. And that's...
Well, it's an addiction.
That's the soul screaming, like you mentioned before, the soul screaming out.
No, while you're feeding your addictions, Tara, it's impossible to get to this. That's the point of the addiction.
Yeah.
So if one addiction is to self-punish, that's the addiction you feed. If one addiction is to punish others, then that's the addiction you feed. For many of us, it's both. You know, self-punish in some situations and punish others in other situations.
Yeah.
We do both because that covers over the terror somehow. I punish you, you will stop highlighting my terror. If I punish me, you won't attack me, which might be part of my terror of being attacked. And it's like self-blame, self-pity. Self-pity is another huge one, right, that we use.
Yeah.
Oh, pity myself, isn't it? So, I can't do anything about it. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Right. All this self-pity, and what's it for? It's just to avoid the fact that it's actually your responsibility to feel terror, and it's your responsibility to feel pain. And there you go, oh, it's still terrible for me, it's still terrible for me. And what's that all to do? Just avoid the fact that you don't want to do it. You know, there's so many emotions that are all emotions of self-delusion, emotions that we create purposefully in order to avoid these two things. Powerful, hey?
Yeah.
We're so clever, aren't we? And we're weaselly, manipulative, conniving little crap pieces that, you know, in this place, you know, that's what we are. We're just trying to get whatever will satisfy us, right? Trying to get whatever will satisfy our avoidance, whatever will satisfy our desire for pleasure at all costs. That's all we're focused on, really. And the main reason why is because we want to avoid the terror and avoid feelings of pain, emotional pain in particular.
So just making that conscious choice to stop the stories and then feel into your body.
No, you can't make a conscious choice to do it. That's what I said earlier to Graham and what I've said earlier to someone else over here.
But how do you get
conscious choice is using your willpower.
But how do you get from being in your head to feeling what's in your body?
You have to develop an aspiration to feel what's in your body.
Okay.
You have to go through a process to allow yourself to be emotionally open. Very important to understand that.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it by using your willpower. You're not going to do it by making conscious choices. You are unconscious, let's face it. You're madly going around going, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. At the soul level, you're unconscious. So develop consciousness at the soul level. That's all about firstly develop an aspiration and then working through the
and
thing.
faith too. Yeah.
And faith and other things, but all has to be in the soul, not as a part. It has to be a part of your emotional state, not as a part of your intellect.
You've said that hundreds of times. I'm so sorry that we're still asking you the same stuff.
And why? Why? Why do we keep asking the same
Because we
stuff?
don't really want to hear the truth.
Correct. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. That's why you keep asking the same questions over and over again. Many of you have tried asking me the same question 25 different ways, and I've said the same answer every time. And surely you're bored with my answer by now, but it still goes on because this is screaming at us, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Come forward to Alwyn.
Do you always have to go through the facade to feel that? Because sometimes it just comes up without anything.
Yes, these things, because they are so strong, are going to poke rear up their heads at all sorts of times in your life. And particularly when you haven't created a particular facade or addiction to manage that situation. And what most people do is these emotions rear their head up at a moment, and then we're busily trying to find out what facade, what addiction have I currently got to suppress it. So we go, like I said to her, like it's a selector, it's like, boom, 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 boom. Oh, that one will work. Dang, I do that. And most of the time it's like, boom, try that, no, boom, try that, no, boom, try that, no. We try one after the other. And when we've exhausted all our standard ones, what are we left with? You go and create another one for that particular situation in that particular environment, and there comes another facade just being created in order to avoid the terror that just got triggered in that situation.
But you can just feel it.
You can.
And you had...
But most of us don't have faith that we can.
Right. And so when you woke up with dread, did you ever just feel the dread?
No, I avoided it like the rest of you do.
Yeah.
It's only when I went through processed this actual terror, and in the first group I actually described some of the processes I went through as a part of the feedback sessions, described some of the processes of what it's going to look like feeling the terror. And to be honest with you, the whole group got pretty freaked out, which is why they don't want to do it, right?
Because what does happen to me sometimes is I do wake up feeling like terror, and I feel
that's
a little
living
bit,
in it. Yeah.
A little bit, and I'm not very long.
Yeah, what you're going to find is that terror, little bit, this is where you think you can manage it, you see? So it's all about managing. You see, sometimes when you hear me speak, you go, oh, well, I've got to get into this terror. I know what I'll do. I'll just do a little bit today, and a little bit tomorrow, and a little bit the next day, and hopefully after a year or so of that, then it'll be gone. And I'm saying to you, it won't be gone until the emotion overwhelms you. And when you're managing it, your emotion's not overwhelming you.
Bloody feels like it at the time.
No, it's not. Because you're going to feel totally different. You're going to feel like you're going nuts, and you're going to feel you're in management control of it.
Okay.
Yep. Which is what most people are in. Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. Straight back to Sherry.
When we came back in, you said most people are feeling relieved from hearing this, and I don't feel relieved.
No worries. Yeah,
Okay.
I understand why, but go on.
Yeah, I think.
Why don't you feel relieved? You know.
I feel like that's the direction that I have to go, and there's no other way, and I don't know what, it's just like bang, it's there.
What direction? Describe it more fully. I'm going to have to feel this terror that I have inside of me, and your whole life is governed to not do it.
Look, I remember being a child, being like going, I don't want to feel that terror.
Yeah.
So this feels like I've structured my whole life around that.
I agree, you have. Let's look at this. I don't want to is really what you said, right?
Yeah.
Now, didn't we talk about that in the first group?
Yeah.
And what did we say about deconstructing that emotionally? Can you remember?
Not at the moment, no.
Well, how do we get from I don't want to, which is my current soul-based desire, to the desire we know we should have, which is what's our desire we should have? I want to, so we'll just write that down. I want to.
And I'm often stuck in this dilemma, like...
How do I get from there to there?
Use my will.
Well, no, see, Graham asked that very question in the first group. You remember? Those of you who watched that stuff that Graham asked questions about? He asked that very question, how do I get from I don't want to I want to on any subject?
Is it feeling how much I don't want to?
That is important. That's one of the first steps. Feeling why you don't want to.
Yeah.
Another step. But can you see you even need an aspiration to feel that you don't want to, and an aspiration to feel that why you don't want to? You need to develop aspirations in each regard. Right? You need to see some benefits. Truth, the four tools, what are they?
Truth, action.
Faith, truth, action, and humility or emotion is how you get from there to there. Isn't it? You're going to have some faith that you can get from there to there. You're going to have to work through different things. You're going to have to develop some aspirations, which all come from your soul. It's all emotional. You're going to have to want to do those things. And if you don't want to, that's fine. God's not saying to you have to, Sherry. Is he?
I guess I just feel like because I've put so much into not wanting to feel terror, that how do I develop that aspiration and to want to feel terror? But I feel like you're saying that
Well, I agree with you. You have a very, very strongly developed sense of your will to not feel.
Yeah.
So that tells me you have a strong will.
Okay, just use that.
It's just used in the wrong direction, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what you need to learn to do is to use it in the right direction. And if you've got a strong will to deny it, which, by the way, and one of the things you'll learn over the next few days is you've got to see the truth of it, you know. At this stage, Sherry believes that doing it is much worse than not doing it. That's what Sherry believes. Many of you are in the same boat, right? The reality is, from God's perspective, you are already experiencing the terrible results of not doing it. And in fact, if you do it, life will get better, not worse. But you don't believe that. So that's one of the things you're going to have faith in. You're going to have to develop some faith, aspiration to develop faith in that. See, at the moment, the majority of you believe that not addressing the terror is the best course of action. That's what you believe.
I feel like feeling is the way out of this.
No, you don't.
Well, I tell myself
you
in
tell
my
yourself,
head,
I
and
agree.
I'm like, this is the only way out. Like,
You tell yourself, yes. But you
But-
don't believe it.
no,
No. Because if you did believe it, you would.
do it.
Yes. So you don't believe it, so I'd work on my beliefs.
Yeah.
How do you work on your beliefs that are false?
I wrote lots of them down and
Well, you have to
looked at
feel each
God's-
one of them, don't you?
Right.
And release them, and at the same time, start accepting some truths.
Yeah.
And you're not accepting the truth, and you're not feeling the false beliefs. So it's going to be difficult.
Okay. Thanks.
Now, I'm now over time from what I promised. So I think it's time for us to finish today. We've got tomorrow. You've still got tomorrow to ask more questions. But the important thing today, you can see that we need to understand our pain, and we need to understand what's caused it, right? And so what we've done today is we've talked about the creation of our pain, and we've talked about the creation of our facade, and hopefully now you understand both of them better about what's causing them. What we want to do tomorrow is talk to you about what am I going to need, what attitudes are we going to need to accept it that it's like this. Why is the acceptance process necessary as a part of our understanding? And this relates to the issue of having an awakening to sin, which we need to discuss in more detail tomorrow. So that'll be our course tomorrow. Hopefully have a good night tonight, and able to prepare a little bit for the questions tomorrow by having a look at the outlines, as Mary suggested to you beforehand. And also, for those of you who would like to have some personal feedback session, up the back there are the 2 pink folders, and you can use both folders to write in your personal question that you would like answered. And tomorrow, in the course of the morning, I'll select 1 or 2 of those to answer as a part of the program tomorrow. I'll also tomorrow, I want to give you some group feedback tomorrow. I already feel what I want to discuss with you about that. So what we'll probably do is have just a half an hour on the personal feedback and another half an hour on the group feedback in the afternoon. And then Mary will be concluding our session tomorrow by doing a summary or a revision of what you've learnt over the 3 primary presentations that have been given to you today and tomorrow morning. So that's our course tomorrow. Hopefully you go back to, those of you in tents, you go back to not a drowned out place, but rather a place that's comfortable. And I think there'll be better weather tomorrow coming. So after that it gets sunny, I think, for most of the week. So hopefully you can enjoy that sun while it's there. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for your time today, guys. Thank you. Enjoy your snooze.